So I'm Dan. What you didn't know is that me and David are twin brothers. If you've been to my shop, you know I don't do paper, so I'm all digital. So they gave me this award, and then Carla says, I need you to pick your music, and I need you to write your speech. And I'm like, speech? Really? So she said, well, just tell your story. And so that's what I'm going to do tonight, and I'll try not to bore you with it. So my automotive career started with the broken down 67 Mustang. So I was 17 years old, and I did like tinkering with cars. I wanted to drive fast cars like a lot of 17-year-old boys do. I was living on my own. As you can imagine, at 17 years old living on your own, I had kind of a rough start in life. So basically what happened was I blew the engine on this Mustang, thinking I could hot rod an old car, and found myself kind of down on my luck. And so at the time I was going to church, and my pastor kind of caught wind that I was down on my luck, and he called somebody in the congregation who owned a couple car dealerships and said, hey, this kid needs some help. And so the next day I met with Scott Vanderbeek from Vanderbeek Motors, and he called me in his office and said, hey man, I heard your Mustang's broken down. He says, I'm going to fix it for you. I said, wow, that's really, really cool. And he said, well, you're going to work it off. So he says, I got a few car dealerships, and you can come and wash cars for me. I was like, all right, I could do that. And then he said, well, if you do a good job, I don't know how you feel about cars, but maybe we could get you in the shop and you could start working on cars. And ultimately that happened about 6 months later. So it was there that I met who was going to be my future business partner, Dave. He was one of the master BMW technicians there. And I was just like in awe, like, wow, a master BMW technician, what's that like? I want to be a master BMW technician. I didn't know anything about master shop management at that point, but so anyways, so I was like, yeah, that's going to be me someday. I'm going to be a master BMW technician. So Dave took me under his wing. He helped me out and taught me a lot of things, and then he actually ended up leaving and founding the shop that I later partnered up with him at. And so I left the dealership in 2013 after 21 years at the same BMW dealer. I was a shop foreman, and my wife and I, we just made the leap. Dave offered me a partnership with him, which I did. And what I didn't know was that 5 years later, he was going to end up retiring, and I was going to buy that business from him. And that was pretty life-changing. That was a big deal. So basically, we signed the paperwork. I go to the shop the next day. Dave's gone. I'm the owner now. What the heck did I do? It's like my wife has said before, like we had our first kid, it's like the nurse puts the kid in the car seat and they hand you the kid and they go, okay, take it home. And you're like, I'm not qualified for this. You're not going to come and help, So here I am with this business, and I knew how to work on cars. I knew how to make customers happy, but I had no idea, the whole back end of the business. And then, so I kind of muddled my way through it for about a year, and I was doing, okay. I was doing a decent job. I wasn't miserable, but boy, was I working some long hours, And so I knew something had to change, and I also just knew that, that the shop had potential to do more. And so I get this call, around then, it was December of 2020, I get a call from somebody at Drive, talking about their program, and I remember going home to Teresa and just waffling back and forth for, days and days. Should I do it? Should I not? Should I do it? Should I? She's like, just do it. She's always the one that just is right there, like pushing me off the cliff, like, go, you can do this, And, so I did it, and it was pretty nuts, because that very first year with Drive, I did over 400,000 in gross more than the year before. I was so, yeah. Yeah. So I was so afraid of that initial investment, and I just, from there on, I just never looked back, That same year, I was 11% net profit. Before that, we jumped up to 24% that year as well. So this year, we're on track to do well over $2 million. But it's not really, like others have said, it's not really about the profit, it's not about the money, it's about the quality of life, you know, and that's what I've been shooting for, wanting to spend more time with Teresa, wanting to spend more time with my kids. So now I'm not quite at stage 4, I'm stage 3, but I'm knocking on that door of stage 4, you know, and I'm able to take a couple days off a week most weeks. I'm able to come in at 10 o'clock and leave around 3 most days, and I mean, that's really the life-changing part right there. So thank you, Bill. Thank you, everybody at Drive. I mean, it's just been, I'm so glad that you are investing in shops and dumb 17-year-old kids with 67 Mustangs like me. Real quick, thank you to Teresa for always pushing me off the cliff and making sure, you know, and always just believing the best in me and making me feel like somebody who's better than I am. Thank you.